If you guys have a newer Ram and you want to upgrade the lighting on the front end of it, and you've got these halogen lights, you have a couple different options. Yes, you can replace the entire housing and get something really bright, but that can tend to get pretty expensive. Another really good option is upgrading the bulbs, but there's a lot of bulbs on the market today that are really bad. They're not bright, they scatter the light everywhere, and it's actually less safe to drive with than your original halogen bulbs. So a new bulb that I want to show you guys today is the all-new 2-stroke 4.0 bulb from Morimoto. I'm going to show you what it looks like in this vehicle. I'm going to show you how to install it and how much brighter it is than your original halogen lights. This new bulb is essentially bulletproof. It's got a lifetime warranty, and that's why I'm showing it to you guys today. So let's dive into the light outputs. If you've got the stock halogen bulbs, they look like this. On low beam, I use the digital lux meter to measure the actual usable brightness at a certain point. I measured 420 maximum lux. Don't pay too much to the lux number, pay attention to the percentage change in brightness. When I installed the 2-stroke 4.0, I measured 970 maximum lux. That means this LED bulb is 131% brighter than your original halogen lights. And you know that's not the whole story, because like I said, this lifetime warranty, it's going to last forever. They've done their absolute best to maintain that brightness level from startup. So I measured it after 15 minutes of leaving this on in the vehicle, and I measured 960 maximum lux. That was only 10 lux less after 15 minutes of driving around. That is insane, and I do not see that from LED bulbs. The loss of brightness is better than anything that I've seen ever. This is what your original Ram headlights look like on high beam. As you can see, you've got 1060 maximum lux. The beam pattern's actually very good. So as long as we can replicate that beam pattern, we are in the clear. We don't want to blind oncoming drivers, but we do want to replicate the original bulb. This is going to modernize the front of your vehicle also. If you're looking at your vehicle a little before and after, your Ram's gonna look so much better with this. And the light output is insane. We still measured 87% brighter than your original high beams. And after 15 minutes, I measured 1900 maximum lux, so it barely lost any brightness at all. Guys, that is a win for Morimoto, and this is why I'm recommending this bulb for you with the Ram. The all-new Morimoto 2-stroke 4.0 is packed with more patented, innovative features than any other bulb on the market today. The ceramic PCB and OSRAM HJL LEDs help illuminate the road more effectively, with zero glare to oncoming traffic. There's this wild heat exchanger that essentially cools the bulb while warming the ambient temperature inside of the housing. This utilizes a 12,000 RPM fan, which is going to keep this bulb so cool that it's never going to overheat, and it's most definitely not going to fail. That's probably why they offer a lifetime warranty from Morimoto. On the H11 bulbs, for instance, there's this tension spring, which essentially puts 5 Newton meters of force, putting the bulb exactly where it needs to be in the housing to replicate your original halogen bulb. They've also enhanced the adjustability of this bulb compared to the 3.0. The 3.0 sometimes would slip and fail when you're trying to adjust the bulb inside of the headlight housing. The way that this is adjusted is by far a better feature than the original version. This will allow you to get the correct beam pattern no matter what you put this in. And something that they've done differently is that inside of the driver, it uses 18 watts at startup, but then eventually ramps up to about 22.5 watts. What this means is in some applications, it's actually going to get brighter over time. If you're driving around for over 15 minutes, your bulb's gonna get brighter, which makes sense because a lot of aftermarket LEDs, actually any aftermarket LEDs, are going to lose brightness over time. These bulbs are by far the benchmark when it comes to putting aftermarket LEDs inside of your vehicle. Now that you've decided the Morimoto 2-stroke 4.0 bulb is right for your Ram, let's show you guys how to do the install. First thing you gotta do is pop the hood. And the driver's side, you don't have to remove anything to get this bulb in. All right, now if you do have the original halogen lights right here, your low beam is an H11 size. So if you're upgrading the LED bulb, you need to get something that's a H11. So low beam is right here, high beam is a 9005. So when you're replacing that bulb with an LED bulb, just make sure you get the right bulb size. Like I said, you don't have to remove anything on the driver's side, but it is really tricky to get a camera in here, let alone your hand. So thankfully I've got one on the shelf here. I'm gonna show you the backside really quick. When you're looking at your vehicle, The bulb on the outer sides of the headlights is going to be your low beam, and the inner two bulbs are going to be your high beams. On the back side of your housings, you do have a dust cover, and this dust cover does need to go back on. A lot of the aftermarket LED bulbs out there have a really big base, or they have their heat sink attached to the PCB, which then makes it too big for you to put your cover on. And if you're driving your vehicle outside, you do want to make sure these dust covers are back on, or you're gonna have debris and oxidation inside your headlight housing, last thing you want. So all you gotta do is take the dust covers, turn them counterclockwise to remove them. And then you'll see your halogen bulb. You're gonna turn it counterclockwise, remove it, and then unplug it. So I'm doing the high beam here. I'm gonna unplug it, this little tab. Same for the H11 bulb. Turn it counterclockwise, remove it, and remove this tab right here. Now inside of this housing, it's a reflector housing, which is essentially a bunch of vertical mirrors, as you can see here. And you want the chips to be at the 3 and 9 o'clock position. Now grab your bulbs, plug them into the OEM wiring, and then we're going to tuck this driver inside the housing. Just put it on the side here. You might have to push this in the high beam and then lock it in place to get it to seat properly. Now you can put your dust covers back on. However, some of these housings are different, and you might need to adjust the angle at which your LED sits so you can get the perfect beam pattern. If that's the case, it's no problem because these new bulbs, like I said before, are totally adjustable. And they've got a really cool adjustment that you can use this wrench on to then just lock her down. You might have to do some trial and error, put them in, make sure that they're good. If the output doesn't look good, take them back out, do it again. But once you dial it in, you'll never have to touch them again. I can guarantee you that. Now I'm gonna go do the install on the passenger side. The passenger side, you do need to remove a few things. I'm going to remove the airbox and a few others. Follow me over there, let me show you what to do. Removing this airbox is super simple. All you gotta do is loosen up the clamp with a flathead screwdriver. Once you have that clamp loosened up, you can pry it away, and then you can just give your airbox a yank and set it aside. If it hasn't been taken out before, it might take a little bit of work, but you can do it. Now with your airbox removed, you have plenty of room to reach your hand down to get the high beam and the low beam. All you gotta do is turn it counterclockwise, and then you can remove those two dust covers like this, put those two bulbs back in, and you're good to go. Make sure your beam pattern is good before you put everything back in, and if so, the front end of your vehicle is now fully LED. As you can see, the install is super easy and it only takes about 10 minutes. Now, this is a really good budget-friendly option to upgrade your light output without having to worry about any failures in the future, because like I said, those 4.0s, they have a lifetime warranty, but they are designed to last forever. Now, if you wanted to go above and beyond, you could also upgrade your taillights. We've tested a bunch of different taillight replacement housings that are going to dramatically change the back end of your Ram. Check out at headlightrevolution.com. All you gotta do is type in your year, make, and model to see all the other products that we have tested for your vehicle.